What if I told you that video call you had with your boss this morning wasn't actually your boss, or that frantic voicemail from a family member was just a perfect digital copy? This isn't science fiction anymore, not even close. We've officially entered an age where seeing and hearing is no longer believing. So okay, let's dive into this wild new reality and figure out how we're supposed to navigate it. Just to give you a sense of the sheer scale of what we're up against, look at this number: 8 million. That is the projected number of AI-generated media files, deepfakes, that are going to be shared this year alone. This isn't some niche problem hiding in the dark corners of the web. It's a tidal wave, and it's crashing into our everyday lives. And here's where it gets really tricky. The danger isn't just about the fake stuff. It's about this idea called the liar's dividend. Basically, when everyone knows that anything can be faked, it gives bad actors the perfect cover to claim that real things are fake. It just poisons the well. It creates this fog of uncertainty where the very idea of truth starts to fall apart. So yeah, welcome to the synthetic reality. And look, understanding this stuff isn't just for tech gurus anymore. This is now a fundamental digital survival skill for every single one of us.
All right, so how on earth is any of this even possible? Let's pop the hood for a second and look at the engines driving all this. And don't worry, you don't need a computer science degree for this part, I promise. We're going to keep it simple. The tech behind this has been evolving at lightning speed. It really started with something called GANs. The easiest way to think about it is an AI forger in a constant battle with an AI detective. But now, the new kid on the block is something called diffusion models. These are less like forgers and more like, well, incredible artists that can paint a photoreal scene out of nothing but digital static, creating people who never even existed.
So let's break down that GAN process. Just picture a super high-speed art competition. One AI, the generator, creates a fake. Another AI, the discriminator, looks at it and says, nope, that's a fake. The first AI learns from its mistake, tries again, and they repeat this loop millions and millions of times, getting better with every cycle until the fakes are literally indistinguishable from the real thing.
And the speed of this is what's really mind-blowing. Just a few short years ago, making a decent deepfake took days of work on supercomputers. Now, you can create a totally convincing clone of someone's voice on a regular smartphone in less than 20 seconds. The power is moved from specialized labs right into the palm of your hand. And let's be really clear, this is not a theoretical problem anymore. It's not some future threat. The consequences are very real, and the financial and human costs are already staggering. I mean, just look at this chart. It's an absolute explosion. In North America, incidents of fraud using deepfakes shot up by 1,740% in just 2 years. That's not a trend line, that's a rocket launch.
Let me tell you a quick story, a true story. In 2024, an employee at a big company in Hong Kong hops on a video call. Totally normal. On a screen, he sees his chief financial officer and a few of his other senior coworkers. Everything looked and sounded completely legit.
Except it wasn't. It wasn't legit at all. Every single person on that call, except for the employee himself, was a sophisticated, real-time deepfake. The criminals had just used public videos of the real executives to create perfect digital puppets of them.
The result, the employee, thinking he was just following orders from his bosses, transferred $25.6 million to the scammers. All of it gone in a single afternoon, all because of one very convincing, very fake video call.
And while the financial scams are absolutely terrifying, the human cost is, in many ways, so much worse. You have to understand this. The overwhelming majority of deepfake content out there, a staggering 96% of it, is used to create non-consensual fake intimate imagery. And it almost exclusively targets women. It's become a weaponized form of harassment.
Okay, I know that's all incredibly heavy, and it can feel totally overwhelming, but here is the most important part of this whole thing. You are not helpless. There are ways to fight back. So, let's open up your digital detective kit and learn how to spot the lies. First up, what to look for with your eyes. AI is good, but it's not perfect yet. It still makes mistakes. So look for unnatural blinking, either way too much or not at all. Check for a weird, blurry halo effect right where the face meets the hair. Pay close attention to the lighting. Do the shadows on their face actually match the lighting in the room? And finally, look for little breaks in symmetry. Which brings me to one of my favorite little tricks, the earring test. For whatever reason, AI models really struggle with making things perfectly symmetrical. So if the person in the video is wearing earrings or glasses, look closely. Are they perfectly identical? Even a tiny mismatch is a huge red flag. It's a classic giveaway that you're looking at a fake.
So that's your eyes. But it's not just about what you see. You also have to use your ears. Listen for a voice that sounds, well, a little too perfect. Kind of flat, sterile, without the natural ups and downs of human speech. Listen for tiny digital glitches, like little pops or a weird metallic sound. And here's a big one, breathing. AIs often forget that humans need to breathe. If someone talks for 30 seconds straight without ever pausing for a breath, something is definitely wrong.
Okay, so those are the personal detective skills you can use. But beyond that, society as a whole is finally starting to build up some real defenses. This is the bigger fight for the truth.
The legal cavalry is starting to arrive. In the US, there are new acts that criminalize the most harmful deepfakes and force platforms to remove them quickly. The EU is rolling out rules that mandate clear watermarks and labels on all AI content. And the industry itself is starting to adopt standards that act like a digital nutrition label, so you can actually track a file's origin and see if it's been edited.
And of course, technology is also fighting fire with fire. Intel has this amazing tool that analyzes the pixels in a video to detect the subtle color changes from blood flowing under our skin, something real humans have that fakes don't. That nutrition label is a real thing called content credentials, and some are even using things like blockchain to create unchangeable, tamper-proof records for videos.
So, what are the key takeaways here? What do you absolutely need to remember? First, the sheer volume of this stuff is exploding, so you have to be ready. Second, and this is the most important rule, if you get an urgent, weird request for money or data, always verify it out of band. That just means hang up and call the person back on a number you already have saved for them. Third, remember the tells. Look for those little glitches in lighting, blinking, and symmetry. And finally, the biggest takeaway of all, we have to make a fundamental shift in our thinking. We have to move away from seeing as believing. Our new mantra has to be verify, then trust. And all of this leaves us with a massive, profound question for our future. I mean, when anyone with a smartphone can perfectly fake anything, what does the word proof even mean anymore? What happens to a society when a photograph or a video clip is no longer solid evidence? That's a question we're all going to have to answer together.